In the studio, that was Edward McCain here on KRIM 96.3 FM. Hope you're having a great morning. It is Tuesday, and again, I wasn't in the studio yesterday, but hope you guys had a great weekend. A lot of fun things going on here in Rim Country, and a lot coming up still this weekend as well. So check out the KRIM FM website, the events page for everything that's happening this Friday and Saturday, and I hope you guys can get out and again enjoy the activities that are going on here in Rim Country. Well, this morning on our Community Spotlight program, we have Debbie Steffens, Marketing Director with the Payson Senior Center. Good morning, Debbie.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on to let people know about all the great things that are happening at the Payson Senior Center.
Yes.
And
It's a lot.
I know, looking over there, your calendar, I tell you, the calendar of events, it's always a very full calendar. If people want to check out that calendar, I want to mention a few times on this morning's program, your website.
Yes, the website's paysonseniorcenter.org. We also have the calendars and activities posted outside our building, so if it's after hours, you want to swing by, you can go and pull them out of the kiosk, and it's a lot. We've got some great new programs, some new exercise classes. Our lunches have grown. I think we had over 70 people last week come.
Oh, wow.
We have a very special Thanksgiving lunch, so if you want to be part of that, please call the center, 928-474-4876 to RSVP for that. But it's going to be a really delicious Thanksgiving dinner on Wednesday the 22nd. Roast turkey over mashed potatoes and gravy, sweet potatoes, green bean casserole, cranberry sauce with apples, a roll, and a pumpkin pie, of course.
Wow.
And I want to remind everybody that all of our programs are donation-based. So if someone cannot afford to even make a donation, please don't let that stop you from coming. We don't even track those donations. There's a box you can drop something in, or you don't have to. We don't track that. What's more important is that you come and get fed. So we have people that, you know, can go ahead and pay a little extra to help cover some of the others that can't. But we want to invite anyone in the community. 50 and finer is our senior center. Our main programs, our primary programs with Meals on Wheels and Congregate Meals, which is our center meals and transportation. It's 60 and finer to be on that donation-based program. But it's delicious, and there's usually other things that are happening, like music. There's opportunities to exercise before you eat.
Oh,
that
wow.
way, when you eat the delicious meal, it's guilt-free, you know.
There you go. So when you're having the pumpkin pie, you're like, hey, I did my exercise before the meal, so I am good.
Yeah.
Give us just some examples, like what's going on this week, maybe today, and the rest of the week at the Payson Senior Center.
So we have, Wednesdays is usually pretty consistent. We have a Bible study at 9 o'clock. We have Cinnamon Twist with Ann and Jen. They are tremendous musicians, and they're so talented, and they have been playing for free. Everyone that plays at the center donates their time and talents, and they've been doing this for many, many years, and they're a fan favorite at the center, and they start playing at 10:30. And then we have lunch at noon. Lunch is always at noon from Monday through Thursday. 12:30 is the chess club. Thursday we have a birthday celebration, which means we just celebrate anyone's birthday in the month. So if you have your October birthday, you'll be celebrated. 11:30 starts.
November birthday?
Yes. Did I say October?
You did, but that's okay.
Is it November?
It is. It's November. I know.
I'm a little behind.
Happening?
I need to catch up.
I hear you. I'm surprised. I'm not the one. Usually I'm the one that's like, wait, what day is it? What month is it? Because it just gets away from me. But yeah, I know, November.
Yeah, well, the good news is I am reading off the November calendar. So everything I've set up to this point has been legit.
Yes, yeah.
But there's also, like I said, the exercise classes. I think we have over 70 opportunities to exercise in a month. And anywhere from sit and strengthening, which helps if someone is recovering from a stroke or has been through physical therapy and needs just a little bit extra rehabilitation time. This is a great class. It just works on your everyday muscle uses. And then it's all the way up to yoga lattes. We have Tai Chi now, which is exciting. Our line dancing group is called Boot Scoot and Seniors. And they are such a fun group. And they actually do outreach. They'll go out and perform at the other care centers and different places. They're a lot of fun, and there's a beginner class as well, but check out the exercise calendar again, that's on the website, paysonseniorcenter.org, or you can come by the center, 514 West Main Street, and you can come and visit. You don't have to be a member of the center, although membership is just $15 for the entire year, but you don't have to be a member to participate in these programs. So just come and enjoy, see what's going on and see what fits best for you. But we're a friendly group, we're a very welcoming group, and we'd love to have you if you're listening out there and just, you need something to do. We'd love to have you.
And you do trips as well, don't you? Did you do a trip recently?
We have very popular field trips, and they fill up extremely fast. You can look at them again on the website, or you can call the center for a detailed list of where we're going and what we've done. But yeah, and a good variety.
Yes.
Laura is our program coordinator, and she's very creative in where she takes everybody. But yeah, absolutely. We need to sometimes take a little trip, and it's overwhelming to do that by yourself. So you can come with us and have a lot of fun.
Well, that's great. Yeah, instead of because especially if you're alone, or even if you're a couple. But like you said, it's overwhelming just driving or getting there. So to be able to go with a group, have that transportation and other people that you're with, so you're not just out there on your own.
Yes, and speaking of transportation, we'll just roll right in there because there's so much to share, if that's okay. We have a transportation program. It's a door-to-door service. So we will come to your door, we will pick you up and take you to your medical appointment, grocery shopping, to get your hair done, to come to the center. So we don't want somebody just sitting there going, it sounds great, all these activities, but I have no way of getting there. Our transportation will pick you up and bring you to the center, and you can attend the activities, you can have lunch, but that's a really wonderful program that's out there that can really change someone's life from isolation to making connections with the community. And again, that's a donation-based program. And so if you can afford something toward that trip, fine. If not, that's okay. We're going to still be there for you. And anyway, just, please utilize that.
Okay, and how people would schedule that is by calling the Senior Center?
Yes, you want to call, especially if it's a medical appointment. We try to prioritize those, but again, it does fill up fast, so I would call as soon as you have that medical appointment to go ahead and schedule it. Even if it's a month or 6 weeks out, get it scheduled. And you can, again, just call the center, 928-474-4876. Renee is our transportation coordinator. She's very friendly, and she'll get you that ride scheduled. And again, it can just be, maybe you just want to go to the park and walk around and just get some fresh air. We'll take you where you need to go and want to go. So.
And you don't have to be a member to utilize that service?
No, you don't. And again, that's for 60 and finer. And then also our transportation covers those with a mobility challenge under age 60. Okay. So if you're under age 60 and you have a mobility challenge, let's just give an example. Maybe you're legally blind, and you can't drive, that would be an opportunity for you to use our transportation. So it actually does stretch a little bit beyond just the seniors. Okay.
How about wheelchair? If you're under 60 and in a wheelchair, do you have the ability to transport people?
We do. We sure do. We have a wheelchair lift. And I'll just share a quick story, and I may have shared this before, but we had a couple, Bonnie was her name, and her husband were in their late 80s, and she called the center. She was crying. She was very upset. She actually is legally blind, and her husband just had taken a fall. But prior to that, he was the full-time caregiver for her, made sure they had groceries. He was the driver, and now because of his fall, he ended up having surgery. And due to his injury, he was in a wheelchair, but his wheelchair had to be slanted. It wasn't even a sit-up, straight-up wheelchair because of his healing and his injury. And she called. She didn't know how she was going to get him to his follow-up appointment to see the doctor. She's like, we can't even call a taxi because he can't get into one. And so we were able to calm her right away and say, we can come to your house, pick him up, you can ride with him, he can stay in the wheelchair the entire trip. We can secure that and get him to that doctor's appointment. And by the end of the conversation, she was crying and I was crying, and she says, thank you so much, you've given me hope. Hope that we're going to be okay, hope that he's going to get the care he needs and that we'll get groceries in our house. And so it's a vital, critical program.
It is very easy to overlook things like that for some of us, and the majority of us, every day going to the store.
Yep.
traveling just around town, having that ability to get in a vehicle and drive wherever you need to go, to pick up medication, to go to the grocery store, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't realize that there are those that don't have that freedom, that ability to do that. So what do? You know,
Right.
who do they call if you don't have family in the area, or there isn't somebody that can help? Then you are dependent, and you rely on organizations and services like the Senior Center and other groups to help you know, get you around. And yeah, so it's very, I can see where people would be super appreciative and thankful to have the Senior Center and others that are willing to help them.
Absolutely, and it takes the community behind us to be able to provide these services.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make a note too, we mentioned wheelchair, but I had a gentleman who I was talking to him about this transportation program, and I didn't say enough because somebody else came up to me later and said, it sounded great because I invited him to the center, somebody who had recently lost his wife, and his health was not doing the greatest, and he was legally blind and just feeling alone. And I'm like, you need to come. Man, you would just be filled with so much life and love around us. And so I thought I had told him everything. And then somebody who knows him said the only problem is that he said transportation is great and all, but I cannot step up to get in. I'm like, he doesn't need to. We have the lift. And so even if you're not in a wheelchair, if you're in a walker or a cane, or if you just don't want to take that step because it hurts, we can load you a different way. And so I got frustrated with myself that I didn't fully describe that. But so if you're just questioning, is this right for me? Do I, you know, would I enjoy this? Call the center. Let us talk to you a little bit more, answer your questions. And if you're listening and you know of somebody, maybe it's your mom or your dad or a neighbor that you know, oh, they could benefit from this connection, come with them. We love to have people come the first couple of times with somebody, because coming by yourself can be intimidating. But we welcome you to come, sit with them, and then they'll make connections, because again, it's such a friendly group, and there's just, when you walk in, you can just feel the joy and excitement and acceptance in the group. And so it wouldn't take long that whoever you're coming with probably would say, I'm good now, I'm going to the center, you know. But it's okay to come along with somebody. And I think that's what we all can do, is be advocates for neighbors and for someone who we see is isolated and going down that path, because we know if you feel isolated, that can lead into depression. If you're depressed, that could lead into poor nutrition because you don't feel like eating. And you know, we'd rather not have someone on the Meals on Wheels program, but have them ride the transportation program to the center and eat. You know, we're still fulfilling the nutrition need, but then so much more of that connection. And so we try to encourage even our Meals on Wheels clients, if you're feeling up to it, come ride the bus and come eat, even if it's once a week. Just try it.
So if you're just tuning in or watching us on Facebook or Facebook Live, we're talking with Debbie Steffens, the marketing director for the Payson Senior Center, and that's a great suggestion. If you have a neighbor, a family member, somebody you know that is having a hard time getting out, or they're not able to get out of their home anymore, it's harder for them to go grocery shopping, go to doctor's appointments, and you're just seeing less and less of them, you know, let them know about the Payson Senior Center, but not only let them know about it, but if they are hesitant or a little uncomfortable or unsure about going, say, hey, let's check it out together, let's go together, you know, and take them to the center, schedule the transportation, ride with them, or just kind of help them, you know, make that connection. They might need the nudge, a little nudge, or somebody that they're comfortable with, they're familiar with, to go. So, I don't know if you want to talk about contributions, donations, how people can contribute to the Senior Center now or at some point, but I think, like you said, it's very important, because the senior center is mainly funded through donations, isn't it?
Yes, and since you asked, I'll go ahead and share. Yes, funding is, it's important. It's just the reality of it. I wish we could just focus on our programs and services and never worry about if we're going to have the means to fulfill those demands, for our programs. But the reality is it takes money to run these programs, and about only 30% of our funding total comes from government contracts and the towns. We are so grateful. Thank you, Town of Payson. Thank you, Town of Star Valley, Gila County, Pinell-Gila Area on Aging, even ADOT through the vehicle grants. It's all helpful, and we're so grateful for that. But that does leave us about 63% or so the responsibility falling on our shoulders to fundraise. And a lot of that comes through our community, our local community that says, we see what you're doing. We know the people behind the doors that no one else sees are important to this community, and you step up. One of the main sources of our funding, it's not even a donation, which is kind of amazing. You can give, even if you say, I don't really have a lot to give, you can give through the Arizona State Tax Credit. And this is similar to the tax credit for kids, and you can give both to the school and to a qualified charitable organization.
Gotcha.
Not every nonprofit qualifies. We do because of our food programs, but it's dollar for dollar tax designation. And this year, the good news is that the amount actually went up. So you can, if you're filing single, you can designate your Arizona state taxes up to $421. Why it's 21 and not just 20 or something.
Wow.
And then 841 if you file joint. And again, this is an awesome way of keeping your taxes local. We don't know exactly, I don't know exactly where my state taxes are spent, but giving it this way, designating it this way, I can see it. I can see it in my community. I know exactly how these monies are going to be used for, and I can not only approve of that, I can get excited about paying taxes, which how many people can say that, but when you have this choice, and I'm so thankful they gave it to us, to be able to designate your dollars through this tax program, it's huge impact. But this is our main source of funding for us. So if you are considering, and it doesn't have to be those amounts. Maybe you go to your accountant and you only owe $120 of state taxes. You can still designate that $120. Instead of writing that check to the state, you would write it to the senior center, and you would get credit for all of that. So if you maybe only have $25 liability, goes even worth that? Yes, please. Because if everyone does what they can, we're going to be okay. If other people say, it's not that much, is it that big of an impact, then we're going to start to get into trouble.
Yes, and on the top of this, there's a statistic. Please help us conquer isolation, malnutrition, hunger, and starvation that 1 in 6 seniors face. So 1 out of every 6 seniors face one of those issues. Is that correct? That
is correct. And I can tell you that 87% of our program participants in our 3 primary programs, which is transportation, our center meals, and our Meals on Wheels program, 87% of those that we serve are in the low income bracket. 67% of our program participants have a disability. 85% of those we serve are over the age of 65. And so yes, when I tell people, when you give to the center, you're giving through us and into the homes and the lives of the people that we serve. We're really just the conduit of your generosity, but it takes that support. And I have some notes from people who we asked them what it means. Meals on Wheels program said not completely starving or going without food some days. We said, what would happen if we didn't have this program? Because some communities don't have this program, and they said a lack of food on our table. And then they just said to the financial supporters, we ask that you please help, because so many of us are at the poverty level or worse. We have so many that are living on Social Security alone, and some of them, unfortunately, have had to make a decision whether to pay their utilities or to have food. And so not only are we helping them to be nutritious, but we're also helping them by giving them that there is no choice, you're going to eat. We're going to provide that for you, but we can only do that with support. Our budget is great. It's a big budget, and we are growing very, very quickly. And so it's got to be a balancing act. The funding has to come in to grow. If there's a greater need here, but we don't have the resources to meet that need, you're off balance, and eventually then it's going to crash. So we're constantly trying to encourage people and inspire them. Never guilt trip anyone, but if you're inspired to give because you're moved, you know, by thinking of the homebound being isolated, or by the seniors needing connections, and our tagline is embracing life together, and that's what we do. It's more than just programs and services. We really invest in the lives of the people that are part of our family, that we call them. And so it's personal, it's deep, and that's what we're able to do by being a nonprofit. But with that is the responsibility of, you know, of funding and making sure that we're financially secure to be able to do this. So.
And it's wonderful to have all of the community support.
Yes.
Because it is really, it comes down to the community supporting the senior center and making all of these programs possible through their support.
I do want to mention volunteers, because that's another great way to help. And it's also another great way to help the person. We've had somebody who, her husband passed away, and she was facing depression, and it was very sad, and didn't want to be part of the activities. It was too much, too busy, too soon. But her friend invited her to just come and be part of the center volunteer program. And so she started volunteering as one of the greeters at our front desk. And so she was able to have contacts and meet people that way. Well, eventually, you know, we could see her starting to heal and come out of that depression and be around people. And then she ended up leading one of our fundraisers, you know. And so volunteerism is rewarding to the individual, but it's huge impact for us. We cannot grow without the volunteer help, and we're so thankful for volunteers. And there's a lot of volunteer programs. We just have a new volunteer coordinator, and so again, you call the Senior Center if you are interested in more volunteer information, or the website again, paysonseniorcenter.org. There's a volunteer program page, and you can get more information. But it's a variety of needs, and so from sitting down to physically moving around and helping pack meals to everything in between, our store. Lots of opportunities.
I was just going to mention Trinkets and Treasures, so the thrift store that's attached to the senior center, that is a great way to volunteer, help out there, but also people can help out by donating to Trinkets and Treasures and shopping at Trinkets and Treasures.
It's a guilt-free shopping trip because you're not really buying the product, you're donating to such a great cause, and you just happen to get the purse for it, right?
I remember, the story or the example that you give, the purse, where you come home and show Bobby, hey,
I used it once. I made a donation to a really great cause, and I just they gave me the purse for it, you know. But absolutely, that's another great way. And then I know we're kind of getting short on time, so I can just give a quick update on the new building. So another way you can give is through legacy giving. There's a lot of ways you can do that. You can just give us a tiny percentage of your will. It doesn't have to be everything. We don't want you to cut out your grandkids, but we would like you to consider something to us in any amount that you can. Some people, their house isn't going to be used by their children. They're able to leave their house or their car or a small savings account, whatever it is. This is giving to the future, sustainability, and just making sure that the services and programs that we have now can be around for the next generation of seniors. So this happened to us. We received a wonderful legacy gift that enabled us to purchase property for our new building. And we've been in a building campaign. We actually launched the building campaign in December of 2019. And by February 2020, we had to shift to COVID survival, and so that kind of got paused, and we've picked it up again. I am excited to say we're about 80% funded, and so we're really close. We've sent out the RFPs, the request for what's the word?
Performance?
No, proposals. I'm talking too fast, my brain can't keep up. Anyway, so we're getting those bids back, and we're moving forward, faith believing that we'll finish that other 80, that 20% that's left. It's about 1.1 million that we still need to raise, but we do believe that we're going to be able to do that with community involvement. And so there'll be opportunities for maybe some in-kind work. If you are have a trade or something and you want to volunteer your guys, or if you are construction business and you want to maybe sell things at cost or something, anything that the community can do to touch, we would just appreciate. We want this building to be built by the community. We exist for this community, and so anyway, just putting it out there. You never know who might have a connection or some ideas, and we'd love to have that support.
That's exciting. And the property, can you let people know where that is?
Yes. It is right behind the police station on Malibu.
Okay.
So right across the street from Walmart, you would make a right on Malibu, and then right behind the police station, look to your right, right by that roundabout. There's a big piece of property. We own just a sliver of it, 1.86 acres. We did fire-wise, so it should stand out. But that's where we will be, and it will be about a 12,000 square foot building, and it's built to be a senior center.
Nice.
We're blessed to be where we're at, and we're debt-free because of our founders. I'm told even some of them even mortgaged their homes to purchase the senior center. That's how much they believed in the mission.
Wow.
And so it's humbling to know that. But it was a bowling alley first, I believe, and then it burnt down and then became a skating rink. And so it just was never designed specifically to be a senior center. So this building is designed with just seniors in mind, and just accessibility and trip hazards and all of that is, taken into consideration. So we're super excited. There'll be windows. We don't have a lot of windows now, and so we're excited to have just a brightness, and we can't wait to get in. So we'll help us.
That'll be exciting. And is there information on the website regarding the building and building fund?
Yes. So if you go to our website again, paysonseniorcenter.org, there is a new building at the very top, and you can click on that for that page, and you can designate your donations. We're in an interesting time because we really need donations for our programs, and we don't want our programs to suffer. So if you do designate any donation, just remember we're not allowed to change it. It will be designated, and it will be honored by your request. But that may limit us then if we have a need for Meals on Wheels or for transportation. We would not be allowed to use those funds. So general donations are the best because we can apply it where the greatest need is. And depending on grants, what comes in, sometimes, grants might come in a little bit easier for meals than it would for transportation. And so we're able to have that flexibility.
And I don't know if you've been on since this has happened, but also wanted to recognize and give you an opportunity, and if you've already done this, another opportunity to thank Chapman Auto Center for their donation of a vehicle. And I'm thinking back, I think you were on since that's happened, or maybe it was just about to happen where you hadn't got the vehicle yet, but that's exciting.
It is such a blessing. So Chapman Auto gave us a way to purchase a brand new vehicle for our Meals on Wheels, and it's been a huge blessing. The total cost was around $30,000 in the in-kind donation, and it's driving around town, so you see it. It does. We do give recognition to Chapman, although they weren't necessarily asking for recognition. We wanted to give that to them because this was such a generous, gift to us. We are looking for another Meals on Wheels vehicle. And it's more of the SUV type again to be able to load up meals. We're growing our routes, and it is what it is. So so people can donate vehicles. They can also donate a vehicle that they just don't want, even if it doesn't run through the CARS program. And again, that is on our website as well. And they'll come and pick it up for you. It's a simple process, and then they'll sell it, and those proceeds will come back to the Center Meals on Wheels program specifically. On that. There's so much, and I hope I didn't confuse people. Go to the website, research a little bit. There's so many different ways you can support us, and we are grateful for every dollar, every person whose heart is touched, who sees what we're doing as important. And that's the message we bring to the people we serve. This is a community-supported organization, so people know that. They know the community is behind them when they get that meal, and we're just thankful.
And that does make a big difference versus if it's just a totally government-funded program. I mean, there is more of a connection that way when they know that people are contributing, not through taxes that are paid in to fund, a government program, but through donations, contributions, whatever it is, however they're contributing. So that does make it more special.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Debbie, for coming on today. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching. And again, encourage you to go to the Payson Senior Center website or give them a call to see, first of all, how you can help, but also if you need some assistance. Don't be shy, or don't sit at home and not find out, what can be done to help you out. Because there are programs out there where you can get help, and people that want to help you, that want to see you get help. So thank you again, and thank you to you and all your staff too for everything that you do for all the seniors in the community.
Thank you.
All right, well, getting back to the music here on KRIM, hope you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday.
You're listening to 96.3 KRIM.
Thank you, Chris.